Hello and welcome to the weekly Truth Be Told Minuteman Report. This is Robert Hensley, your Truth Be Told Minuteman, coming at you live from an undisclosed location somewhere in North America. Where I am, I don't even know. So, two things, right, to get started. First and foremost is thank you for being here right now and listening to the Truth Be Told Minuteman Report. And number two, series milestone. This is our 50th episode, right? So at the end of last year, we were 4 episodes away from a full year of episodes, a full year of the Truth Be Told Minuteman Report. And that is just really, really exciting to me. I've covered some really interesting topics for Truth Be Told Minuteman at this point, and I look forward to covering more interesting topics and learning more and sharing information with you guys. So thank you. Excited for episode 50, right? I should have brought like a bottle of champagne or something too. Anyway, not that I need champagne to do what I need to do. All right, so today's show is it's another deep one. It's another deep one. It's gotten it's taken me into a rabbit hole, and we are learning things and thinking about things in a way that I've never thought about things before. So we're talking about quantum immortality, right? And so quantum immortality is this concept, right? This theory that human consciousness is not able to, or doesn't want to, accept death on the physical realm, right? And so our consciousness continues. And that consciousness then moves onto or into another plane, into another dimension. So, of course, this whole theory is tied to, right? It's tied to the idea that we are living in a multiverse, that there are parallel universes above, below, to the sides, out in front, in the back. And that potentially, again, when the physical form, when our body dies, our consciousness, which is not able to accept the idea of not having this form, transmutes onto another plane of existence. Now, once our consciousness goes into the life or the form that we are on a parallel universe, then it leads to some tricky stuff. Like, that's where people think that deja vu comes in. They think that that's where the Mandela Effect kind of comes from. So, and the Mandela Effect, if you're not familiar, is that a group of people having a belief where they're, it's a distortion of memory, but it's kind of like, but it's en masse. And it's called the Mandela Effect because when Nelson Mandela passed away in 2013, there were a lot of people who could have sworn that he had already died, that he had passed away in prison in the 1980s, right? And, you know, the theory is that if their consciousness, or the consciousness that was within them now, had been transmuted or come to them from their being that had passed away in another plane, and still recalled certain things, that it might create this sense of, you know, history that doesn't really exist, right? Because perhaps in whatever universe or whatever plane they were on before, as well as all of these other people where they were before, maybe Nelson Mandela did die in prison in the 80s. And then when their consciousness jumps forward onto another plane, into this new existence, it still kind of recollects that happened. But then there's Nelson Mandela, and he's alive, but then he dies in 2013. But yet they could have sworn that he was already dead, that they remember him passing away in the 1980s. So, so quantum immortality is this idea that although our physical being doesn't continue to live, that because of, this idea of multiverses and potentially being able to have a continuation of our consciousness on other planes, that we could potentially live forever. And not just forever in one dimension. We're talking about living forever in the past, present, future, and beyond, right? It's deep, it's heady stuff. And so, some people even have gone as far as to think that, this idea of quantum immortality and these quote unquote glitches that people experience with memory and deja vu or knowing ahead of time what's going to happen, those things that make people feel like they might be living in a simulation, like they've been through this before, that it's just a program that's running over and over again. That's why. That's where that idea comes from, is from this place of quantum immortality and of consciousness holding on to bits of information from the form that it was initially in. And there is no way of knowing for sure. I mean, how do you test something like that, right? And some people experience it all the time, and then other people don't seem to be bothered, don't seem to have ever had any of those issues in their lives. And there's no telling why. Unless, however, that plane, that existence they are in right then at that point is their first. Could be, right? Something to think about. Now, the idea for today's story, this research that took me into this loop on quantum immortality, was actually a story idea that came, I think it started out from a TikTok video, and then it kind of became one of my listeners, one of our audience members, forwarded it to me and said, I thought this might be interesting to you. So I want to say thank you. And please, if you've got ideas, we still have that email address, reportminuteman@gmail.com. Email me. Let me know what your ideas are. I would love to hear what you want to talk about. I'm happy to go down any rabbit hole. You know what I mean? If it's interesting and it's not going to kind of come up against Tony's content on a Friday or Bonnie's content on a Wednesday, because we don't want to all do the same shows the same week. But if there's no conflict, I am happy to kind of research and look into things for you. I want to know what you want to talk about. So again, quantum immortality, a lot to think about, right? But I think it's worth thinking about, right? And if this idea of because this is considered fringe science, but if the idea of fringe science appeals to you, unfortunately, Rizwan Virk had to cancel his appearance on Truth Be Told last week. And then Mercury in retrograde, right? We already talked about this, but Mercury in retrograde, Tony somehow missed his own show. Not somehow. There was technical difficulties and Tony missed his own show last week. So he's actually picking up and doing a live show tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. With his guest, Mark Fiorentino, who wrote the book Master of Reality. And he talks about the multiverse and fringe science and Einstein's unified field theory. Really cool stuff. So feel free to tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. for that. And Tony, of course, will be back then on Friday with his live guest, Andrew Thompson, who is a documentary filmmaker. And if you're on Amazon Prime, if you're watching Amazon Video, you can look up his films, Next Great Extinction Event and Life Beyond Earth. And then Bonnie, of course, will be back on Wednesday with her show, Truth Be Told Transformation, 3 p.m. And, Truth Be Told, that's our thing. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, pretty much all the time. Again, Tony's doing a special episode tomorrow at 9 a.m. So that's the kicker on that one. And, and coming up is, I think Thursday is National Sticker Day, which I think is really cool. So if you haven't visited our website, www.truthbetoldworldwide.com, and visited our shop, did I say visited it? There were too many did in there. And visited our merch shop, you've probably missed the fact that we've got some really cool Truth Be Told stickers. Just saying. Don't know that they can be shipped to you in time for Thursday, but there's some cool stuff on there. Have a look. And thanks again for watching and for your support. And this is the Truth Be Told Minuteman, Robert Hensley, signing off for this week. And looking forward to, again, 50 more episodes of Truth Be Told Minuteman. Have a great day, everyone.